that look, that moment, that conversation. Nothing is left to chance. Especially not this person, the one who made something vibrate within you, a silent chord that no one had ever touched. You feel that this encounter is not like the others. It is surrounded by a halo of meaning, an aura of destiny that both troubles and fascinates you. Since then, your mind has been circling. You analyze every word, every coincidence, searching for confirmation, proof that you are not just inventing everything. A part of you, the logical part, cries out coincidence and projection, while another part, older and wiser, your soul, whispers, I know, I recognize. This tension between reason and intuition, between the fear of being mad and the certainty of being faced with a truth, is a solitary and profound experience. Let me tell you, what you are feeling is not an illusion. It is a message. And you are here because you are ready to decipher it. The great Swiss psychologist Carl Jung spent his life mapping these unexplored territories of the human soul. He firmly believed that these intense feelings and chance encounters are not pathologies or romantic fantasies. They are, according to him, messages from our unconscious, events precisely orchestrated by the deepest part of our being. They are not accidents, but sacred appointments. Calls from our soul urging us to pay attention, because a crucial stage in our personal evolution is about to begin. The first great sign the universe sends you is not a spectacular external event, but an internal resonance, a subtle change in your own psychic atmosphere. You cross their path, and since then, the world no longer quite has the same color. It is not simply an attraction, it is an echo, a recognition that surpasses understanding. You wonder if you are losing your mind, if you are inventing signs where there are none. Let me reassure you, what you are feeling is one of the oldest and most powerful messages the soul can receive. It is not a coincidence, it is an appointment. The most immediate, the most visceral sign is this inexplicable feeling of familiarity. It is not a precise memory, but a soul memory. It is like hearing a forgotten melody from your childhood. The body recognizes it before the mind can even name the song. In their presence, your defenses lower, not out of naivety, but out of a kind of inner permission. It is a feeling of alignment so profound, it is almost unsettling. Jungian psychology tells us about the concept of the collective unconscious, a kind of immense and silent library where all human stories, all archetypes, all great encounters are archived. When you feel this familiarity, it is as if your two souls are drawing from the same ancient book, recognizing a common history that began long before your physical encounter. You are not falling in love with a stranger. You are remembering someone your soul has always known. It is a feeling of coming home with someone you have only just met. Then come the synchronicities. These famous, meaningful coincidences described by Carl Jung. They are not simple chances. They are winks from the universe, luminous pebbles placed on your path to confirm that you are on the right track. You think of this person, and your phone lights up with their name. You recall a very specific childhood memory, and they confide that they had the same experience in the same place. You cross paths with them in another city, another country, at the very moment you felt most lost. Jung explains that these moments are not linked by a chain of cause and effect, but by a common meaning and a causal connection. It is a phenomenon where your inner state, your thoughts, your emotions, your deep needs, is perfectly reflected in an external event. These synchronicities are proof that the gears of your inner world and those of the outer world are beginning to mesh, to dance to the same rhythm. They are bridges thrown between your psychic reality and material reality. Whispers telling you, look, pay attention. Something important is happening. This familiarity deepens into a form of silent communication. You understand each other without the need for words. A simple look is enough to convey a complex emotion. An inside joke is born in seconds. A complicity settles in with an ease that would normally take years to build. It's as if you speak a secret language, a dialect of the soul that only the two of you understand. In the Jungian lexicon, this can be seen as an encounter with a figure who embodies your anima or animus, the unconscious feminine part of a man, or the unconscious masculine part of a woman. This figure is not the other person in themselves, but the archetype they activate within you. They represent that part of you that has been dormant, that completeness you carried without knowing it. The ease of the connection comes from the fact that by communicating with them, you are in reality communicating with a deep and essential facet of yourself. This is why the conversation seems so fluid, so obvious. You are conversing with your own soul through the medium of the other. Finally, it is crucial to understand that these signs are not an end in themselves. They are not a guarantee that this relationship will be a smooth sailing. Quite the contrary. This familiarity and these synchronicities are an invitation, a call to adventure. The universe does not send you this person so that you may rest on your laurels, but so that you may embark on a work. It is a door opening. It is not the destination, but the starting point of an intense inner journey. Jung teaches us that the goal of life is not happiness, but individuation, the process of becoming oneself, whole and conscious. These encounters are the most powerful catalysts for this process. The signs are there to tell you, this person is important. They hold a key for you. The path will not necessarily be easy, but it is necessary. The intensity of these signs is proportional to the magnitude of the transformation that awaits you. They are the lighthouse in the night guiding you, not towards a peaceful harbor, but towards the perfect storm that will allow you to become the captain of your own ship. And if these signs are the gateway, what you find on the other side is often much more confusing and powerful, a mirror of your own soul. Because this is precisely what it is about. Once the door of signs is crossed, you do not enter the other person's life. You enter a new room of your own inner temple, a room previously unknown, the Hall of Mirrors. The lightning-fast attraction, this almost magnetic fascination you feel, speaks not so much of the perfection of this person as of what they reveal about you. They are a living mirror, a reflective surface of implacable purity. Every intense emotion they awaken in you, from the most dazzling admiration to the most irrational irritation, is a fragment of your own soul being sent back to you. This is the great mechanism of projection, one of the deepest concepts in Jungian psychology. Unconsciously, we project onto the other those aspects of ourselves that we do not see or that we do not dare to own. Imagine you are a sun. This person is the moon. They have no light of their own, but their presence in your night sky allows you to contemplate the magnificence of your own rays. What you admire in them is the brilliance of your own forgotten light. This mirror first reflects your gold, your brightest potential. Are you captivated by their boldness, their creativity, their freedom, or their wisdom? It is because you are contemplating your own untapped potential. These qualities that you place on a pedestal are actually yours, dormant under a layer of fear or doubt. The other person simply shows them to you. They are living proof that what you carry in embryo can blossom spectacularly. It is a silent invitation, a permission. Their existence tells you, what you see in me, you carry within you. Dare to become it. This is what Jung sometimes called the projection of the golden shadow. We project not only our flaws, but also our unclaimed genius. The relationship then becomes a hothouse for your growth. The other is like an expert gardener who, looking at a simple seed, already sees the majestic oak it will become. They give you nothing you don't already have, but their belief, their simple reflection, gives you the water and light needed for you to finally grow to the full stature of your own soul. But the mirror is brutally honest. It doesn't just reflect the light. It also confronts you, and perhaps above all, with your shadow self. Are there aspects of their behavior that irritate you intensely? That trigger fierce judgment, disproportionate anger within you? Pay particularly close attention to this. As Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves. These visceral reactions are alarm signals. They point directly towards the parts of you that you have disowned, exiled to the depths of your unconscious. Doesn't their supposed arrogance echo your own repressed ambition? Doesn't their vulnerability touch upon your own fear of being dependent? This person, by their very existence, presses upon your most secret wounds. They are the grain of sand in the oyster. It is uncomfortable, irritating, but it is precisely this friction that will force you to create a pearl, to transform your wound into a work of art, into a healed and integrated part of yourself. The purpose of this mirror game is therefore not to lose yourself in the other, but to find yourself. The ultimate goal is not to worship the reflection, but to recognize the face within it as your own. The spiritual work consists of withdrawing your projections. It is an act of soul repatriation. It's about reclaiming the light you have projected and saying, "This strength, this beauty, is mine." It's about welcoming the shadow it has awakened and saying, "This fragility, this anger, is also a part of me and needs my attention." The relationship becomes a sacred laboratory where you learn to become whole. This person is not a destination, but a guide. A guide who doesn't lead you to them, but who forces you, by their very presence, to come home, to the core of yourself. And this process of soul repatriation, this coming home, is rarely comfortable. In reality, it is often marked by deep pain, because to see one's light, one must first dare to traverse one's own darkness. This confrontation with your own reflection is not simple passive contemplation. It is an engagement, a descent. The universe doesn't send you a soul connection to offer you a peaceful refuge, but to give you the courage to explore your own depths. This relationship has the extraordinary power to awaken your shadow. The shadow, in Jungian psychology, is that invisible backpack we all carry, filled with everything we have judged unacceptable in ourselves. Our jealousy, our anger, our panic, fear of abandonment, our need for control, our immense vulnerability. This person, by their mere proximity, by the intensity of the attachment they provoke, will inevitably cause the locks on this backpack to burst open. It is not them who create your jealousy or your anxiety. They merely bring to light what was already there, lurking in the darkness, waiting for its hour. It is a volcanic eruption of everything you had tried to contain, a wave of raw emotions that overwhelms you and leaves you helpless, asking yourself, "But who am I to feel all this?" And it is here that the most counterintuitive secret of these encounters lies. Pain is a sign of depth. If this relationship sometimes leaves you in a state of confusion, sadness, or torment, do not too quickly condemn it as toxic or bad. A superficial connection could never reach these such sensitive places within your being. The pain is proof that the relationship is touching upon raw nerves, upon original wounds, It means that you are doing real work. It is the pain of the surgeon who must incise to clean an infected wound. It is the pain of fire that purifies gold of its impurities. If it hurts, it means it matters. It's a sign that the walls you had built around your heart are beginning to crack, not to leave you in ruins, but to finally allow the light to penetrate. A relationship that never shakes you is a relationship that never transforms you. Suffering is therefore not a sign of failure, but the vibrant symptom of soul work in full swing. The purpose of this descent into the shadow is not to drown you there. The purpose is consciousness. This is where the most brilliant wisdom of Carl Jung lies, who warned us, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. As long as your shadow remains unconscious, it governs you. You are the puppet of your fears, your repetitive patterns, your automatic reactions. But when this relationship forces the shadow to the surface, you have a golden opportunity. That of looking it in the face. To name your fear of abandonment. To recognize your pattern of dependency. To feel anger without letting it destroy you. By doing this, you do not kill it. You integrate it. You repatriate a part of yourself that had been exiled. You cease being the victim of your own history and become its alchemist. You reclaim power, not over the other, but over yourself. This healing is a paradoxical dance. Often, the person who activates the wound is also the one who offers the space for its healing. It is in the crucible of this intense relationship that true transformation can occur. There is a sacred paradox in the fact that the same presence that exposes your greatest fear of abandonment can also be the one that, by staying, teaches you that you are worthy of being loved. The same person who triggers your anger can be the one who welcomes it without judgment, allowing you to understand it for the first time. It's a two-way mirror. By showing you your shadow, it also gives you the chance to show yourself as you truly are, and to be potentially accepted in your entirety. This confrontation is therefore not a war against oneself, but an act of radical love. It's a process where the poison and its antidote are often found in the same vial. And this healing, this dance between shadow and light, transforms not only you, but also the other. For in such an alchemical reaction, neither substance emerges unscathed, or rather, unchanged. This alchemical dance between your light and your shadow does not happen in isolation. It is reciprocal. Carl Jung beautifully illustrated this with his famous metaphor. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. It is an immutable law of the psyche. You are not the only one being laid bare, being confronted with your projections. The other is as well. Your presence in their life acts as a mirror for them, just as theirs acts as a mirror for you. You activate their wounds. You illuminate their forgotten potential. It is a mutual transformation, a powerful vortex that pulls in your two beings and releases them only once the work is done. There is no master and student, healer and patient. There are two souls engaged in co-creation, two planets whose orbits have drawn close enough that their respective gravitational forces forever reshape their inner landscapes, before, perhaps, continuing their stellar course. This is why it is essential to understand that not all soul connections are meant to last a lifetime. Some people do not enter our lives to be the novel, but to be a decisive chapter. Their mission is that of the catalyst. Think of them not as a destination, but as a sacred storm. A storm that breaks with incredible force, that uproots the dead trees of your old beliefs, that carries away the debris of your past relationships, and that clears the ground of your heart. It is terrifying, chaotic, but absolutely necessary. these people fulfill a specific soul contract to provoke a break, a radical awakening, a change of course that you would never have dared initiate alone. They are the controlled forest fire that burns the old world so that the new one can be born from its fertile ashes. They are not the new forest. They are the fire that makes it possible. Recognizing the end of such a mission is an act of great wisdom and great love. The signs are often as subtle as those of the beginning. The electric intensity that bound you can begin to subside, transforming into a gentle warmth, or even a peaceful distance. The lessons seem learned, integrated. The struggle ceases. You feel more whole, more yourself, and, paradoxically, less dependent on the relationship's dynamic. It's like two mountain climbers who were roped together to traverse an extremely dangerous phase. The intensity of their bond was a matter of survival, but once they reach the plateau in safety, they can untie the rope. Their paths can then separate without drama or resentment, but with immense gratitude for the journey completed together. The end of the intensity is not a sign of love dying, but a sign of a mission concluding. It is a graduation, not a failure. Thus, the end of such a deep relationship is never a failure. It is the fulfillment of its true purpose. The goal was not to end up together in the conventional sense, but to help each other become more conscious, more free, more authentic. Clinging to the form of the relationship, once its transformative energy has been depleted, is to betray the very purpose of the encounter. It's like a rocket booster. It is absolutely essential for tearing the vessel away from Earth's gravity and propelling it into space. Its role is of crucial importance, but it is designed to detach and fall back once its mission is accomplished, so that the capsule can continue its journey alone. To honor such an end is to thank the booster for its power, without trying to hold on to it. It is understanding that these connections do not happen out of mere desire. They respond to a much deeper law, a law of inner alignment that prepares the ground for such miracles. This cosmic dance of encounter obeys a fundamental and often misunderstood law, the law of alignment. The universe does not respond to your need, your lack, or your desperate loneliness. It responds to your vibration, your state of being. If you frantically seek someone to fill a void within you, you will not attract a soul connection. You will attract a mirror of your own emptiness. You will attract a relationship that will amplify your patterns of dependence and confirm your unconscious belief that you are not enough. It is a difficult but liberating truth. The frantic search for the other is a flight from the self. The cosmos, in its infinite wisdom, will not send you the person meant to awaken you as long as you use the very idea of relationship as a sleeping pill to avoid facing yourself. The work is not to seek the other, but to cultivate one's own inner garden. You do not attract butterflies by chasing them, but by taking care of your flowers. The prerequisite for a truly transformative encounter is the path towards one's own completeness. The great paradox is this: the universe sends you this person not when you desperately need them, but when you are finally ready to live without them. It is when you have begun to make peace with your own company, when you have faced some of your demons in solitude, when your value begins to emanate from your own inner source and no longer from the gaze of others. It is not two halves meeting to form a whole. According to the Jungian view, it is the meeting of two individuals who are already engaged in their own process of individuation, their own quest to become whole. You must first become a grail, a solid and sacred vessel, forged in the fire of your own inner work. It is then, and only then, that you can receive and contain the powerful energy of such a connection without breaking. Everything in this universe is energy. Your internal state, composed of your thoughts, your wounds, your level of self-love, emits a vibrational signature, a unique frequency. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. To attract a connection based on consciousness, healing, and growth, you must yourself embody these qualities. The work is therefore always a return to the self. Each time you choose to heal a wound rather than projecting it, you raise your vibration. Each time you choose self-love rather than self-criticism, you refine your frequency. You are a musical instrument. Inner work is the process of tuning yourself to the true and pure note of your own soul. When you finally vibrate at this authentic frequency, you naturally resonate with another soul that is tuned to a complementary harmonic. The meeting is then no longer a coincidence. It is an inevitable physical consequence of energetic harmony. Finally, once the work is engaged, the last step is the most difficult for the ego: letting go and trusting in divine timing. You can prepare the soil, plant the seed, and water it, but you cannot pull on the stem to make it grow faster. You must trust the process, the seasons of your life. The meeting will occur at the exact moment you and the other are ready, when the lesson to be learned will be most relevant for both your paths. Any eagerness, any anxiety about its arrival is a sign that the ego is still in control, that a part of you does not yet fully trust in the wisdom of your own soul, what Jung calls the self. The self is the great director, the architect of your destiny. To trust it is to understand that every moment of solitude is a preparation, every trial a purification. Because ultimately, the universe does not send you someone to save you. It sends you someone to show you that you have always had, within you, the power to save yourself. If you have recognized your journey in these words, understand this: the intensity, pain, confusion, or even the ephemeral nature of a deep connection are not signs that you have failed. Quite the contrary. They are proof that you are living an authentic life, a life in direct contact with the mysteries of the soul. What seemed to you like sentimental chaos was, in reality, an initiation orchestrated by the universe. It was not a test of your ability to keep someone, but an invitation to find yourself. Each encounter is a divine message, a mirror held up not for you to fall in love with a reflection, but for you to fall in love with the magnificent and complex being you are in the process of becoming. If this journey to the heart of the psyche resonates within you, subscribe to continue exploring these truths together. Each video is one more lantern on our common path. And to anchor this recognition, comment below with the affirmation, "I am opening myself to a conscious and aligned relationship." And stop doubting your intuition. Honor every encounter that has shaken your certainties. Honor every relationship that has broken your heart, only for it to be rebuilt vaster and more capable of love. The ultimate question the universe asks you through these mirror souls is never, "Is this the right person?" The true question, the only one that matters for your evolution, is this: who am I becoming thanks to them? Listen to the answer that emerges from the silence of your heart. That is the only guide you will ever truly need.